The Bears roster is mostly set as now the focus shifts to week 1 against the Vikings, and I've identified 3 major problems on the roster, at least right now. We break it down here on Chicago Bears Now. I'm Harrison Graham. Major problem number 1 with the Bears' 53-man roster. Where is the pass rush? I get it. It's preseason. It's training camp. Got to give this time, see how it looks. But I don't think anybody out there watching right now could watch that Chiefs game one-on-ones. Again, vanilla stuff, I understand. But even just like look at the personnel and say, yeah, I feel good about where this pass rush sits at this point in time. Listen, there's a lot of things that you just kind of dust off during these preseason games, but one-on-one matchups, especially against other starters, like regardless of scheme, intent, play calling, just one-on-one. Josh Simmons, Dayo Odeyingbo. Josh Simmons put Dayo Odeyingbo in jail. That's a first-round rookie in Josh Simmons. Montez Sweat, did we see him at all? Did we call his name? And look, Sweat's coming off a not-so-great year. Gave him a little bit of a pass. He was dealing with the foot issue, but still, he's making a lot of money, and you expect him to make plays. You paid Dayo Odeyingbo $16 million per year. Didn't hear his name much at all throughout training camp. The backups, by the way, who are question marks to begin with, like what we saw out of Austin Booker in the first 2 preseason games. Well, now he's injured. He's going to miss a few weeks at least and probably not play week 1. I mean, maybe he's questionable week 1. We'll see. Dominique Robinson still here somehow. He got hurt the other day, but even when healthy, are we expecting a lot there? I mean, Daniel Hardy, maybe they can use him in like a NASCAR package, but that's going to be situational at best. I think realistically, Dennis Allen is going to have to dial up pressure. Now, this is where I'm glad you have Dennis Allen compared to Matt Eberflus, because Matt Eberflus didn't want to bring pressure. He wanted to play cover 2, cover 3 shell, try to win with 4 up front, and play assignment football on the back end. Well, the good news is Dennis Allen's going to run more stunts. He'll run more disguises and coverage. So even if the front 4, especially coming off the edge, I think the interior has a chance to generate some pass rush, but especially coming off those edges, I don't think on 4-man fronts where you're dropping 7, you're going to win, get a lot of pressure consistently. I'm hopeful for Montez Sweat, but outside of him, I don't know. I think it's a tough ask at this point in time. So to me, this is a question last year. It's been a question for a lot of years. It's a question now heading into the season. I don't really expect this pass rush to be that great in non-blitz situations. What is your concern level with the pass rush right now? Scale of 1 to 10. I'm at an 8.5. Like, I just don't expect it to be that good. That doesn't mean the defense can't still be solid, but I think when you don't have a great pass rush, it limits the ceiling of your defense, because that is how you change games. Strip sacks, rattle the quarterback, right? If the quarterback's just sitting back there, if you're not even touching him, not hitting him, not flushing him out of the pocket, it's just going to be a long day most weeks. Okay, number 2, sticking with the defense. Injuries are just piling up. They're just piling up. And that directly correlates, obviously, with the roster, because is that going to require some minor tweaks, at least in the short term? We shall see. They obviously picked up Jaylon Jones and DeMarco Jackson off waivers yesterday, but right now, guys who did not practice yesterday or left practice yesterday: Jaquan Brisker, starter; Jaylon Johnson, who's missed all of camp, your number 1 corner; TJ Edwards, starting linebacker; Ruben Hippolyte, probably your top backup linebacker; Austin Booker, who's your 3rd edge rusher right now; Dominique Robinson, who's probably your 4th edge rusher right now. And also, Tremaine Edmonds has been banged up. He returned yesterday, but he was limited, so that's probably trending in the right direction, but he's missed some time. Kyler Gordon's missed 2.5, 3 weeks. He's been back recently, working his way back, so that's good. Shamar Turner, the rookie 2nd-round pick, he missed basically all of camp. He's been slowly making his way back. I was hopeful he'd play in that Chiefs game, but he did not. Even if he's healthy, like, is he even active week 1? Like, it's probably going to take time for him to even get up to speed, so don't really have a ton of expectations there. You lost arguably your top backup outside corner for the year in Terrell Smith, and that doesn't even include Zay Frazier's unavailable this year. Amon Ogbongbemiga, not a starter, but one of your better special teams players. He's a linebacker. He's on short-term IR. Like, it's a lot. And I felt like throughout camp, this team was mostly healthy. I mean, the Jaylon thing and then Kyler, but now you got other guys, other key starters and contributors who are banged up, and doesn't sound like any of them are necessarily long-term serious injuries other than the Terrell Smith one, but the opener's coming up. It's coming up quickly. So we'll talk about the impact of that and that Vikings game in 11 days here in just a second. But I do want to tell you guys first about our awesome sponsor and the best daily fantasy sports app in America. That is Prize Picks. College football games tonight on our televisions. Absolutely awesome. Opening weekend of college football is here. The big boys starting a week as well. Don't miss out on any of the action with Prize Picks. It's very easy to play Prize Picks, as you just pick more or less on stat projections for 2 to 6 player lineups. If you get your lineup right, you can win up to 2,000 times your money with certain lineups. That's right. Turn $10 into $20,000 with Prize Picks. All eyes are on Texas-Ohio State this weekend. I like Arch Manning to reach the end zone on a rushing score. Really good athlete, good runner. I think Steve Sarkisian will use him in the red zone. So give me the more on half a rushing/receiving touchdown for him. That's a demon pick. Those are tougher to hit, but if they do, the payout can increase. I paired it with Garrett Nussmeier, less than 279.5 passing yards against the Clemson defense. So $20 entry to win 90 right here. I like this lineup. Again, 2 to 6 player lineups on 2 or more players on 2 or more different teams. And you can cross over sports too. You can get a baseball player in there if you want. Once basketball rolls around, you can get him in there as well. A player from your favorite basketball teams. Doesn't matter. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. It's PrizePicks. Run your game. Okay, so back to the injuries and the impact of week 1, which is coming up. You got injuries at all 3 levels. We mentioned the back end. Jaylon's been out a while. I'd say it's a coin flip for week 1. Jaquan Brisker went down yesterday. We'll see if we find out more this afternoon. We'll be live, so stay tuned. T.J. Edwards left practice 2 days ago, did not return yesterday. Tremaine Edmonds just getting back. Defensive linemen, Booker and Domrob, even if they're not major contributors, they're rotation guys that are going to have to eat up snaps. Odeyingbo and Sweat aren't going to play every snap. So, Tano Passanio, I would say pretty decent chance he's going to be a game day elevation for week 1. And listen, this is a big effing game to start the season. A lot of pressure, divisional opponent, prime time. Ben Johnson's first game as a head coach. You're going up against J.J. McCarthy, first game as their quarterback. They just added Adam Thielen, the Vikings did. So sure, you avoid Jordan Addison, but Jetta and Thielen, they can go. They got Hawkinson as well. A couple good running backs. We know Kevin O'Connell can dial it up. So, if you got 3 or 4 of these guys out on defense, you got the Vikings and the Lions the first 2 weeks of the season. Like, you can't really afford to lose both of those. Like, at this point, if you said, hey, Harrison, you split, I'll take a split. Like, I'd be pretty pleased with that at this point in time, because I really do wonder, like, is the offense going to have to carry a bigger load early than you probably would have thought? Because I think we all felt like, okay, like, the offense is going to have growing pains, and I still think that. But I think with Ben Johnson scheming it up, you'll still be competent early on while you're working through the kinks. But I still felt like you were probably going to have to lean on the defense more so than the offense early. Well, if a lot of these guys are banged up, and if you're not generating a pass rush, then you might have to go out there and score in the mid-20s in this first game, 28 points, whereas I thought maybe this is kind of a first to 20 type of game. Well, maybe not. Maybe you're not going to be able to slow down Minnesota as much as you would like. So I think the pressure does kind of shift back to the offense potentially for this season opener. Subscribe to the channel because we bring you videos every single day on the Chicago Bears. We go live for every single game. Can't wait for week 1, 11 days away. Go live every Monday and Thursday as well. More content to come. And, hey, it's Thursday. We'll be live this afternoon. So turn on notifications. We'll go live around 4 o'clock Central Time. Hopefully we get some good info out of practice today and bring you guys some more videos as well. Okay, left tackle. I think it'll be okay. Like, I think with Joe Thuney, who we didn't play in the preseason, that'll help Braxton, assuming he's the guy. But it's not ideal when the expected week 1 starter at left tackle won the job that ultimately included 4 guys in the competition kind of by default. And the Bears have basically acknowledged this. Now, Ben Johnson has not named a starter. I want to make that clear. But he was saying it throughout camp, 3 weeks into camp. We want someone to take this job and run with it. It never happened. So whoever starts the season at left tackle, I assume it's Braxton Jones, who's been working with the ones the last week and a half. He kind of just got the job because, well, he's the incumbent. He's started 40 games. There's at least some level of, okay, we kind of know what we have there. But that's not ideal. No one took it. He won the job by default. In other words, like Ozzie Trapillo, who Ryan Poles said hit a bit of a rookie wall, and they moved him back to right tackle where he's more comfortable. I think they'll try to get him some reps in practice on the left side, but like these practice reps once the season starts, they're not physical, they're not as high intense because it's a lot of body management, right? And just mental game planning for the next opponent. Like you get your physical work in training camp, and that's over. You're now into game week mode going up against the Vikings. Braxton Jones in the preseason, I thought it got a little better each week, but the pass pro was an issue. He gave up 5 pressures on 42 pass block snaps. That's more than 10% pressure rate allowed. Gave up a sack as well. That inside move that got him more than once, that's an issue. Now, Joe Thuney is going to be next to him on the inside, so that should help again. But here's what I've seen from Braxton. I've basically just seen a worse version of himself. He's pretty good in the run game still. I would say he was above average in that department in the preseason. But the pass pro, which has never been a strength, especially from an anchor standpoint, but it kind of feels like he's heavy-footed right now, coming off that ankle injury. The one thing he's always had is kind of light on his feet, good athlete. Well, that inside move, like that, he's gotten beat on that twitchy inside move, and the quickness hasn't been there, and that's a concern, right? Because we know the anchor isn't great. The strength hasn't looked awesome in pass pro, even compared to his normal self, which isn't ideal. And I don't think the quickness has been there either. So basically, the guy you're trotting out there week 1 at left tackle is the guy who's been there, but he's a lesser version of himself right now. Now, again, I thought he got a little better each week. Is that strength and that confidence rebuilding? You hope so, right? And if Joe Thuney's next to him, like, I think at this point, like you're hoping for serviceable level left tackle play. And listen, you're not going to be stout at all 5 positions. I understand that. But this is your blindside protector for your second-year quarterback who's trying to gain confidence and grow in this offense. It's a big effing year for Caleb Williams. So that's not great. Like you'd much rather the right guard be serviceable than the left tackle, for example. So it just is what it is, though. This is kind of what you got. I don't think they're going to make a trade. I mean, I've thrown Cam Robinson out there. The Texans seem to be open to trading him. Maybe that happens, and even that's not some major solution. But Ben Johnson has said he values one-on-one pass protection from his tackles more than run blocking. Braxton's kind of the opposite. He's a better run blocker than he is a pass protector. What is your Bears' biggest concern heading into week 1? Biggest concern on this team right now? Is it the injuries? Is it left tackle? Maybe it's running back. I think they can get by, assuming Monungai is ready to go for week 1. I think him and Swifty can hold it down. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, there's some concerns that have popped up here. And by the way, notice I didn't even mention Caleb Williams because I'm willing to give that some time. But we don't know how he's going to look early on. Like I think we should probably expect that to be a bit of a bumpy ride. And you got 3, I would say, pretty notable concerns out of that. So, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I think there's a lot of positives that have come out of camp in the preseason. If these defensive guys get healthy for week 1, that'll be big. But, if Jalen's out, if Jaquan's out, like that's going to be a problem. That is going to be an issue for this Bears defense. All right, that's going to do it for Chicago Bears Now. Again, join us this afternoon, 4 o'clock Central Time. Do not miss it. We'll take your questions. We'll bring you guys the latest going on with this football team. So we will see you guys then. Bear down.